What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Yojide, and if it's your first time stopping by, you are most definitely welcome. So on today's episode, I am going to be showing you all how I made these beautiful boo-boo, ta-da, with side pockets. Yeah. So I made this for myself. So I made this for someone. I filmed the process and I decided to share with you guys. This right here is known as sequin material. This is it here, and there are two different types. We have the velvet one, which is the one I used for mine, and the ordinary sequins. Yes, without further ado, let's get right into the video. So I'm cutting out the back pattern first, yes, and my Ankara is already on fold. So the first thing I'm going to mark is my mid neck to sleeve length measurement, which is 19 inches for my client. So you just take the measurement from the middle of your neck down to where you want the sleeve length to get to. So mine is 19 inches, and I'm just going to use my office pin to hold down both parts. Don't forget that your material, whether Ankara or Kampala, is going to be on fold. So now the next thing I'm going to be marking is my neck measurement. The wideness is 3.5 inches and the depth is 2 inches. So I'm just going to connect this back to the middle of the outfit, and I'm going to make a little round measurement like this, just like I'm doing. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come to this shoulder measurement, and I'm going to just make a little slope. You can come down by 1/2 inch and mark that back into the neck measurement. So guys, for the sleeve length, I'm going to come down, or the armhole, I'm going to come down from that shoulder measurement. I'm going to come down by 8 inches and draw a vertical line like so. So this is going to be where the sleeve is going to be, where the hand is going to come out from. So guys, the next thing I'm marking now is the hip line. You can just measure your hip line from your shoulder down to where your hip is, to get your hip line. So I can mark the hip circumference there. So for my client, the hip line is 22 inches. So for someone taller, it can be 23 inches or 24 inches. So after marking that, I'm going to come to that hip line mark I just made, and I'm going to mark 1/4 of the hip circumference there. So the hip circumference is 38 divided by 4, that's 9.5 inches. Then I'm going to add 3 inches for ease and 1 inch for sewing allowance. 3 inches for ease. Remember that this is a boo-boo, so it has to be free. So guys, from that 1 inch for sewing allowance, I'm just going to use my ruler to mark a straight line back to where my sleeve or armhole length is. And before I get to where it is, I'm going to make a little curve. You can just freestyle this. You don't need any curve rule for this. Yes, so I'm just going to curve that back into where the sleeve is. So guys, the next thing now is the full length. So it is 42 inches, and I'm going to add just 1 inch for sewing allowance. So depending on what you want, it might be a full length boo-boo, so this is like a 3/4 boo-boo. It is not full length. So guys, from that hip circumference, I'm just going to free this all the way down. It is not going to be entirely straight, so that down part is not going to be tight for my client. Yeah, so the next thing I'm just going to do now is to cut it out. I'm just going to cut this out like so. I'm just going to trace out all the measurements I've made. Then I'm going to cut out this neck part also, and guys, we are done for the back pattern. So this is how it looks like. So the next thing now is to cut out the front pattern. So still using the same fabric, of course, I'm just going to fold this into 2 like so. It is on fold. So just like I did for the front, the mid neck to sleeve length, just like I did for the back, rather, the mid neck to sleeve length is 19 inches. I'm going to use my office pin to hold down both pieces so it doesn't shift. Then the wideness, the neck wideness for the front is 3.5 inches, while the depth Remember, this is the front. It's going to be 7.5 inches. You can use 8 inches, you can use 9 inches, depending on how deep you want the neck part to be. And I'm going to connect that back to the middle of the outfit. Remember that this front pattern has this neck design. Yes. So from the middle, I'm going to come in by half of an inch. For a bigger person, you can come in by 1 inch. Then from that 1 inch, I'm going to make a V shape back to the front of the neck like this. As you can see, just come in by half of an inch or 1 inch, and yes, connect back to the beginning of the neck measurement. Then I've already gone ahead to take my shoulder slope. So guys, before I cut out that neck part for the front, the next thing I'm just going to do is to place my back pattern that I already cut on the front pattern. So I'm going to cut it out, using the entire shape. The only thing I'm not going to cut out is that neck part, because the neck is different from the front neck is different from the back neck rather. So I'm just cutting my shoulder slope together, as you can see. Then I'm going to cut out this part. You want to be really careful when you're cutting this V shape of the front pattern. So I'm just going to cut this out. Remember, I use half of an inch to come in for this. Yeah, so this is what it looks like when I'm done. I'm going to open this up. Yes, so guys, the next thing I'm going to do is to place the front on the back, and I'm just going to use my office pin to hold them down. And the first thing I'm going to sew is that neck part. I'm going to sew it by half of an inch. Yes, so I'll take this to the sewing machine now to sew down the neck part, just the neck part first. The shoulder, yes, the shoulder to the sleeve. So guys, we are back. I've already gone ahead to sew down that neck part. So the next thing I'm going to do is to just open this up. I want to sew down the sleeve part. So I've opened this horizontal, and I'm just going to take this sleeve part and fold it twice, and I'm going to take this to the sewing machine now to run a stitch on it. I'm going to repeat the same thing for the other sleeve. Yes, so after doing that, guys, you can see I've also gone ahead to iron it. So the next thing I'm going to do is to turn this to the odd side, so that we can take our pocket measurement. So guys, from the shoulder, I'm going to come down by 14 inches. Then I'm going to sew this like this, but I'm not sewing yet. Then from that 14 inches, I'm going to mark 6.5 inches. That is going to be how long our pocket is going to be. That's the length of our pockets. Then I'm going to repeat the same thing for the other side. From the shoulder, I'm going to come down by 14 inches. I'm going to mark that. Then I'm going to mark 6.5 inches. So that part is going to be where our pocket is going to be at. So guys, let's work on our pocket. Let's cut out our pocket. We are going to be cutting out 4 pieces in total. So the pocket length is going to be 7.5 inches, as you can see, and the wideness is 8 inches. Then I'm just going to make a D shape. This is freestyle. It doesn't have to be D shape, it can be rectangle. And this is also on fold, so I've cut out 2 pieces like this, and I'm just going to place this on another set of fabric to get my 4 pieces. So this is what the pocket looks like. I'm going to slit everything open. Remember, I said we are going to be having 4 pieces in total. So now let's place our pockets on that pocket measurement we made earlier. So remember that 14 inches we marked earlier, where it's stopped at. Yes, so that's where I'm going to start placing my pocket. So guys, when placing your pocket pieces, please make sure you place it very well. So now the next thing I'm going to do is you can see the way I'm placing the pocket. The right side is facing the table, and this is odd side versus odd side. So I'm just taking the edge and pinning it down. So when I turned it over, that's the right side. So the same thing when you're placing the other one, the right side will face the right side of the first pocket piece you placed. Then I'm just going to take the edge of this and pin it down. So this right here is the wrong side. So I'm going to repeat the same thing for the other side. You can see right side facing right side, and the outside is wrong side. And I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and sew down by half of an inch. Yes, I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. So guys, this is what it looks like. You can see we are done. Don't forget, right side facing right side, and the wrong side is facing the outside. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do is to sew down this side. I'm just going to sew this down, but we are not going to sew down yet. so that we can still have the material open because of that chest design, right? Don't sew it down, but you can just, this mark I'm making now is how the stitch is going to be. That's the sewing of the pocket, right? That is when I'm done with the chest design, not now. So guys, let's open this up and take our round neck measurement so we can know the length of the collar to cut. So you're going to take your tape rule and take a round measurement of the neck parts. You can see, just do this carefully so you can get the full length of the round neck, and mine is 26.5 inches. As you can see, I'm even going to go ahead to do this again just to be sure. You just take a round neck measurement of what you have from front to back. Yes, so 26.5 inches. So that is going to be the length of my collar. So guys, as you can see, I'm using this sequence material. So I'm just going to cut out this net part. I don't need it. Then I'm going to fold this into two. Remember, this is the neck collar, and I'm going to mark, instead of 26.5 inches, I'm going to mark 30 inches. You know, it is better for the length to be longer than for it to be shorter. So 30 inches. Then on fold, the wideness is 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches on fold, and I'm just going to cut this out. So guys, because this sequence is very soft, I don't want it to give me issues on the sewing machine. When I'm done cutting it, I'm going to place it on the Ankara fabric I'm using. I'm going to use the Ankara fabric as lining so that it can give the sequence like it can make it strong, right? It can make it stand. So yes, that's what I'm going to do. So before that, guys, that neck part, you can see I'm just going to fold this into two, and I'll come to that middle part. Yes, and I'm just going to cut out from that middle part, just so that the neck collar can sit very well from that middle part. Like, it can sit very well on that middle part. It won't be too high, right? So I'm just going to cut out from that middle part, because you can cut like half of an inch away from it, so it can sit well inside the middle of the neck when I'm sewing. So this is what it looks like. So like I told you, using the shape of the sequence to cut out a lining using the Ankara fabric I'm using, just so that the sequence can stand. So after cutting it out, I'm also going to take it to the sewing machine to sew down all the four edges so that it doesn't shift. So guys, this is what it looks like. You can see I've gone ahead to iron this very flat. You can see when I open it up. So just iron this into two, fold it so that it can be easy for you when you're sewing. And it also makes the work neat. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take this neck part. So starting from the middle, also starting from the middle of the neck, I'm going to be using my office pins to pin down this neck collar to the neck part of our boo-boo. I'm going to pin this on all the way around. So guys, as you can see, I told you it is better for this neck collar to be longer than for it to be shorter, right? So this is just giving me the visual look of what it's going to look like when I'm done sewing. So I'm going to sew this all the way by half of an inch. So guys, this is what it looks like. I'm gonna add to sew this down. So I'm just getting the middle of the neck so that I can get the length, the measurement of my neck design. So guys, from that middle to the left and right, I'm going to mark 5 inches. So that means the wideness of the neck design is going to be about 10 inches. Then for the length is going to be 8 inches. Yes, so you can just depending on what you want, whatever design you want, you can just take the visual measurements first on the main fabric, on the main boo-boo, right? So that's what I've gone ahead to do now. So length is 8 inches, wideness is 10 inches. So that is going to be the measurement of the neck design I'm going to cut out. So still using the same sequence. So instead of using the direct measurement, I'm going to be adding 1 inch. So instead of 10 inches, I'm going to be using 11 inches. Instead of 8 inches, I'll use 9 inches, you know, because of sewing allowance. Yes, so that's what I'm doing now. It's going to be square shaped. So I'm going to cut this out, and I'm also going to make a design on this. You can use rectangle, you know, whatever you want, square, any design. In fact, it might be circle self. So I'm just going to cut a bit of this my measurement. So I don't know what shape this is called. Please let me know in the comment section. I'm just going to cut a bit, you can see, from this edge like so. I don't want it to be directly, I don't want it to be just rectangle. So this is what my shape looks like. I don't know, it looks a bit like half of a trapezium. So just like I did for the neck collar, guys, I'm also cutting out a lining for my chest design sequence using the same Ankara fabric. So I'm going to take this to the ironing table now to iron. And guys, this is what it looks like after ironing. I've also gone ahead to sew down all 4 edges so it can stay. And when I turn this to the wrong side, you can see I've gone ahead to also iron down ½ inch on all the sides, just ½ inch, so that it can be easy for me when I'm sewing. So this is very simple, to just iron down all the edges of your chest design. And I'm going to place this now on the mark I made earlier, the measurement I made earlier. So I just want to get the middle, and so that we can take this to the sewing machine now to sew. So you can see when you iron, it's going to be very simple for you to do. So I'm just checking out the different shapes I could sew this down with, but then I'm going to go with this. So I'm going to sew down all the edges. So me ironing down all the edges is going to make this very easy for me when I'm sewing on the sewing machine. So let's go ahead to do that now. Also, I'm going to be using office pins to hold down the major part, like the middle and the side, so that it doesn't shift when I'm sewing. So guys, this is it. I've gone ahead to sew down. This is what it looks like. I'm going to turn this to the wrong side now. You can see how it looks neat on the wrong side, and I'm just going to cut out the excess of this neck collar. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do now is to take that pocket side, the sides rather. I'm going to sew down the side. Remember, that was what we wanted to do first, but because of the neck, you have to open this up. Don't sew the sides yet. You have to do that neck collar and chest design first before you go to sew the pockets. So it can be very easy for you to do. If not, it will be very hard if you sew down the side before doing the neck shenanigans, right? So this is what it looks like. You can see it's looking swollen, and I've just gone ahead now to press it down very well with my sewing with my iron. Yeah, so you can see it looking very neat already. This is what the pocket looks like. We are gradually coming to the end of the video, guys. Please let me know your thoughts. If you have any questions for me, in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like this video and also subscribe if you are yet to subscribe. So guys, before we go, I'm just going to take the hem of this boo and I'm going to cut out this scallop. I don't need it. Then I'm going to fold this twice and sew down the hem. So guys, I'm going to see you all in the next video. Bye.